Hello guys, welcome to this new video on IBM. In this video we are going to see all about arrays in fully free format RPGLE. So there are two kinds of arrays which are supported in fully free format RPGLE. They are the scalar arrays as well as data structure arrays are also supported. You should note that multi-dimensional arrays are not supported in fully free format RPGLE, but they can be like simulated through the data structure arrays in RPGLE syntax. So we'll see the example for both the cases. Firstly, we will declare a simple date array, and what we'll do is that we'll give the dimension of that array. It will be storing scalar values of date in it, and we'll just display them. And then we'll go to the next example. So let's start. So firstly, to declare an array, we write DCLS, which is declare standalone variable, and the name of the array. So I keep the name of the array here as dates. Then we give the date format as star ISO, so that this array has all the values of the format ISO. And then we declare the dimension of the array, and to declare that we use the dim keyword. So I give the dimension as like 4. So once the array has been declared, now it is time to set the values of the array. So to set the values of the arrays, you need to use the parenthesis bracket. So we'll write dates. The first term in the array is going to be today's date. So I write star date, and we call the inbuilt function. Then we set the second date as what? Today's date plus 1 day ahead. So we want the date of tomorrow in this second placeholder of the array dates. So we write in the third placeholder, I want the exact date of the date of 1 year in 2021. So we write like dates 3. Then we write percentage years. In the last placeholder, I want the date which is of 2019 on the same day. So we write date again plus we have set all the values in the array that we have declared, that is dates, just to see whether our code is correct or not. So we print the first value. And once all the values are printed, so we just write indicate the last record using the return keyword. Everything is done. So now let's save this thing and let's compile it. So we save it and we compile it. So once saved, let's call it. So we are getting the desired output here. So we have the today's date that we want. Then we have tomorrow's date. Then we have the date of 2021 on the same day, 1 year after current date. Have the 2019 date of today. This was basically an example of using scalar arrays in your program. So now let's go for data structure arrays. Let's see an example where we can declare arrays of data structure, and we can use them as multi-dimensional arrays in our fully free format RPGLE code. So I'll quickly comment out these things. So for this example, we will create a multi-dimensional data structure array. As I told you, fully free format RPGLE does not support direct multi-dimensional arrays, but we can recreate it using such kind of data structure arrays. So we declare it same way using the DCL data structures, and the name of the arrays that I will give here is like families. So we'll be creating this array such kind that it will be an array of families which will have addresses as well as the number of peoples that are inside the family, and inside that there will be one more data structure which will be having the name of the family members as well as the age of the family members. So let's quickly write it. So it will be a qualified data structure, so that we can call each and every attribute of this data structure by just using the dot operator on the name of the data structure. So we write qualified, dimension as 5. So this is like the outer structure of my data structure, which has the addresses of the families, the number of peoples that are inside the families, and we are giving it as of type varchar and unsigned integer. So now we declare the inner data structure. For that, again we need to declare data structure, and the inner data structure name I will give it as people. The outer data structure is qualified, so the inner data structure by default becomes qualified. Give the dimension of this as 8. Just subfield name of the data structure that I am giving is like name and age. So then we end this data structure, and also we end the outer data structure. So our data structure is declared. Now we declare 3 standalone variables. One is for the number of families, which will be unsigned. Initial value of that will be 0. Then we declare 2 iterators I and j for using it inside a for loop. So we'll see that in a while. So quickly I will declare them, and we'll go ahead for setting the attributes. Now we set the outer attributes of the data structure as well as some inner attributes of the data structure, and to do that, first we like capture the data structure's name. The data structure's name is families. Then we give parentheses for the first data variable inside our data structure, and we set the address, which is like the attribute of the outer data structure, and we set it to some address. So I will just give my address. Then we set the second attribute of the outer data structure, that is the number of people that are inside the family. So just you can see here that we have the second attribute as the number of people. So we set that. Also we declare that the number of families that we are going to store in the data structure is like only one family we are going to store, not multiple. So I write number of families equal to 1. Now we set the inner data structure, like inside that one family there are how many members, what are the name of the members, and so on we are going to see. So for that, first what we'll do is that inside the family 1, inside the inner data structure people 1, we are going to set the name of the first family member. Suppose that is like my name. So I will write family 1 dot the second data structure name, that is people, and inside the parenthesis we write the iteration, like this is the first one. Set the name of the attribute, that is like name, and I give my name. Now we do the same thing with the age. So what we do is that I write rp here, and just we write, and now we set the age of the family member, my age. Now what we do is that now we repeat this same thing for the second family member inside the same family. So we write rp2 to repeat this 2 times. Inside the first family, name of the second people is going to be some random name, and the age of the second member is. So we have now like setted all the attributes that we wanted for our data structure. So now to view this attributes, and we need to write a for loop to view all the setted attributes that we have. So we write for I, that is the iterative variable that we have already declared in the standalone variable, to the number of families, which is also declared here. You can see here we have already declared that number of families. We display the ith family, Now this is for the outer data structure for displaying that, and now we want the details of the inner data structure that we have setted here for the two family members inside the family. So we also need to write one more for loop for that. So we go inside J to families of I dot number of people, and for this one we display the ith family dot people, the jth family member name. This will like print the name of the first family member from that family. We like write the rest of the statement in the next line so that you will understand it properly. So for continuing it, we use the plus symbol and we write like is plus again. Then we call the character keyword and we print from the families in the ith loop, in the ith iteration dot people, that is the inside data structure. We call the jth family member and we print the age of that member. We just write one more string so that our output looks a little good. We have now written our display statement, so it's time to end the for loop. So we write end for ending this for loop, and this outer for loop also we need to end. So the return function will indicate the last record. So we are like done with our program. So now let's save our program and compile it, and let's see whether it's working or not. So our program is compiled in the first attempt itself, and we call the program. So you can see that we get the address of the family, that is the first family we have in the outer data structure. As we press enter, so we get the name of the first family member and his age printed here, and as we press enter again, so we get the name of the second family member printed here. This was how you can like declare a data structure array itself to like simulate multi-dimensional arrays in your RPGLE program and use them in your RPGLE program. So I'll give you a quick recap what we have seen in this video until now. So firstly we saw the scalar arrays, how we can declare scalar arrays. So to declare scalar arrays, so we write the standalone variable and then we declare the name of the array, and then we declare the dimension of the array. Then array, that is the data that you want inside the array, and to display that you can use the display command and print each and every data that is like holded inside the array using the parenthesis symbol. And then we saw the data structure arrays and its application, like we declared a multidimensional array, that is families, which had the address of multiple families as well as the number of members inside the family. And inside the internal data structure we had two fields, that is the name and that is the age, and we setted all the attributes for the outer data structure as well as the inner data structures here. To view that inside our output, console output, so we wrote two for loops, that is the ith loop and the jth loop. The ith loop dealt with the outer data structure and its attribute, so we displayed the family's address here, and the jth loop dealt with the inner data structure, printed the name of the family member as well as the age of all the family members. So this was all about data structures in fully free format RPGLE. I hope that this code is clear to you, and if you have doubts regarding this code, please write in the comment section. I will definitely reply to them and try to solve them. So for this video we will see more interesting stuff about fully free format RPGLE in AS400 in the upcoming videos. If you like my work, please do hit the like, share and subscribe button.